Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Ready to Love, Season 10, Episode 9.
I need you to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Blair, you ready?
I'm ready.
Walk us through this, please.
All right. So Tommy tells the guys that it is time for the getaway.
Okay.
They all get on the bus to go there. Cam, we know, has 3 connections, Sahara, Rose, and Angie, and he is going to try to use this trip to gain some clarity.
Okay.
Sahara needs Cam to step it up if he's into her, and Kiara is nervous about the trip because it's a lot of people, a lot of different personalities. And I will say, on the bus, Cam was sitting next to Sahara. They were hugged up, you know, seemed like they were getting cozy, and Kiara was setting some boundaries as far as keeping it cute when they go out there and have boundaries with these other people that are going to be there as well.
Yeah. Why did he agree to these boundaries?
I think he did because he really wasn't into anybody else.
He wasn't.
I really didn't understand why Jay was moving the way that he was moving in the house.
I understand that part too. Right.
Okay.
That's why I don't understand why he accept the boundaries.
Yeah.
I also want to know, why did she feel the need to set boundaries and things of that nature? Like, this is still glorified speed dating, right?
True.
So my thing is, I understand they had a conversation about, you know what, we are into each other, you know, one-on-one and things of that nature. But it just came off as, I don't want to say insecure, but it did come off as a little bit insecure of, okay, we gonna set these boundaries right now since we all gonna be in the same house. It just seemed a little much for me.
I don't know. I didn't take it as insecure, and the only reason I didn't is because of how strong their connection has been.
That's fair.
And the fact that there hasn't been people that either one of them has really showed like a strong interest in. I guess for that, like, you would think there wouldn't need to be boundaries because we're so into each other. But I mean, with all of these different people and her being nervous about the situation, I could understand her just making sure, like, hey, like, we still locked in, right? Didn't he say we were locked in?
Yeah.
You know?
That's fair.
So they get to the house. House is gorgeous. The ladies ran to look for rooms. Tay told Cisco that he could room with her.
Oh, so guess what? Even when you are not in your rental room or like wherever he stays and things of that nature, look, right now I feel like Tay, she's trying to get a feel on how it would be in the real world if she was to choose Cisco. You know what I'm saying? You know, let's room together so it could be a little bit more intimate that way. That's why I'm like, even though I do not agree with Tay going after Cisco, because I'm like, hey, especially what we gonna see from Cisco this episode, I feel like Cisco have a lot of room to prove himself. I didn't see Tay putting any boundaries on Cisco, at least from what we see. You know, so that's why I'm like, it just came off as if you're trying to mark your territory, even though y'all are really into each other. I wouldn't have tried to mark my territory while we was on the bus. Yeah,
and I think with Tay and Cisco, I kind of looked at it as like she's made her choice.
Oh, do you think so?
Yeah, I think Cisco is her choice. And she really wasn't too concerned about what Khalil would think or how he would perceive it. Like you said, what she said is that she wants to see how this would be like in the real world.
Yeah.
So to me, you already know who you want, and you're trying to see if this could carry out, you know, beyond the Ready to Love experience. And I hate it for her because because I don't feel like she's choosing the best option for her. I mean, Cisco seems like a nice guy. He's trying to get on his feet and all that type of stuff. But I just think for Tay and where she's at and what she wants, I don't think she's going to find that stability in Cisco, at least no time soon.
Well, I want to set a keyword for this episode. Yeah. I know we're like 4 minutes into the episode, but let the keyword for this episode be optics.
Yeah.
And I will explain why that word is so important for this episode, especially with this couple. Optics, that's the keyword. Let's keep going.
So Tommy arrives. They need to be solidifying their connections on this trip.
That's fair.
Cam helps Rose take her bag to her room. Sahara ends up pulling Jay to the side. She's rubbing on his leg. He's rubbing on her neck. Their legs are intertwined. Kiara walks by, sees them hugged up, and she's confused about what's going on there. Any comments about that?
Nothing right now.
Rose got Cam some shirts, and he is still interested in growing their connection.
How did you feel about Cam getting some shirts from one of his connections, Rose?
I thought that was sweet of her. I think that, I don't know, I feel like I can imagine that there might have been a conversation about color or style or something like that for her to gift him shirts. I think it would be kind of random, not necessarily like wrong, but unnecessary, I guess you could say, for her to just pop out with some shirts. But if it was something along the lines of they've been talking about, like, I think it would be like a sweet gesture, you know?
Well, I don't think they talked about something as simple as shirts. I think like most people, let's say if I want to gift you something, I'll probably see what you wear, and probably be like, okay, he wear a lot of t-shirts and a lot of muscle shirts and things of that nature. One thing that happened in the exchange of t-shirts and things like that, he basically was joking around, basically saying like, you getting your man some shirts, you getting your, basically. Here's how I feel about Cam, and I don't know if y'all feel this way, and I don't know if you feel this way, Blair. Cam, in my opinion, is feeling himself because he knows he have 3 connections, right? He knows that he basically have to pick up the litter, which is my problem with Rose. Because out of all the girls, Rose is the one it seems like she's bending her, hard stances to talk to Cam, to be with Cam. One thing that she said, look, being religious is very important to me. Cam is like, sometimes, maybe. And she's still including herself in this basically throuple. You get what I'm saying? My thing is, I felt like it was too early, even though we are at the midpoint or near the end of the season, to basically be giving him t-shirts or basically giving him gifts and things of that nature.
Why was it wrong?
To me, it was wrong because I'm like, it just came off as doing too much, knowing that, hey, it came off as a little pick-me-ish to me.
Oh, okay.
Because you want him, that he is in a throuple. You are one of the 3.
So it's just to kind of give yourself leverage.
You're trying to give yourself leverage to a guy that you're already bending some of your hard stances to.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, with Rose, I don't think Rose understands, in my opinion, that she is the table, that she is the prize and things of that nature. And she's in competition with Angie and Ciara or things like that. Sahara, right? I think, hey, if Cam don't see you for who you are, you don't need to go to Target or Walmart, depending if you're not shopping at Target, and get him t-shirts and bend your own stances to try to get a leg up and to basically making him the prize. To me, it just came off as Rose was just doing just a little bit too much and things like that. But this is not just a one-time thing. This is a, episode on episode on episode of Rose trying to fit in so Cam could pick her, in my opinion.
So Andrea is asking people, what's the difference between like spicy and toxic?
Okay.
They say spicy is sexy, toxic is negative. And Cam brings up how it's toxic to bust out somebody's windows in their car. If someone hurts you, just walk away, like grow up.
Yeah.
Angie says, you play with me, I'm gonna play with you too. And she has busted up some windows in her day. Cam ends up walking away.
Yeah.
Rose tells Hussein that, it's toxic really when you start arguments, getting into fights with folks. And she would try her best to avoid the situation. Hussein tells her that he can be set in his ways.
I kind of had a problem with this scene from both parties, actually.
Okay.
I had a problem with Cam because, number one, she did not say that she still do that now. She still does that now. She was asked, have she ever done it? And she said, yes, I have. And Cam to walk away basically pouting, you get what I'm saying, eventually, I think it's like, Cam, like, she's not even talking about you. Why are you taking it so personally? Also, I'm going to blame Angie on this too, because what did we see last episode? We saw last episode where she broke down because she have basically her phone rings all day. There's not a day where no one is really calling on her, basically reaching out to her for something with their hand out, right? And basically, Tommy challenged her to basically have some deeper conversations to actually talk about something of substance. What's the difference between spicy and toxic is not a substance conversation. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wish that she would talk about something that actually matters pertaining to her besides actually trying to basically be like, if you play with me, I'm going to play with you. You get what I'm saying? Something that will actually give you a real leg up on the competition that you are in, besides talking about that's teenage stuff that I talked about in college and things of that nature at like kickbacks and stuff. It just came off as an immature conversation, but because it was an immature conversation, I felt like Cam took it too seriously and walked away.
I'll share my thoughts after they have their talk.
That's fair.
So Jay comes up behind Kiara and she tells him to back up. She feels like he didn't respect the boundaries that they put in place. Cam didn't like how Angie has those qualities, especially since he's into her.
Yeah.
He prioritizes peace and he tells her that he wants someone to do that as well. She won't feel the need to get back with him, she's explaining. And at this point she's frustrated because she thinks that Cam is hearing what he wants to hear.
Yeah.
She thinks that he's projecting because he has to make a lot of decisions right now and he's looking for a reason not to choose her, and that comment really rubbed him the wrong way. So how I feel about the whole situation is I wish people, men and women, could take conversation as an opportunity to gain information.
Yeah.
And I think that when it came to Angie, I agree in the fact that she didn't say she's busting up windows today, but she also said, you play with me, I'm gonna play with you.
Yeah.
If you're not somebody who wants to be in a tit for tat type situation or be with somebody who has a tit for tat mindset, maybe she's not doing that, but maybe she's doing other things, you know, that would kind of constitute as a tit for tat type thing.
Okay.
And so I could imagine if Cam is just like, look, I want somebody who prioritizes peace over everything, who wants to find solutions, who wants to come to like common ground when we have disagreements rather than getting back or, you know, doing little sly things. Like, I think that number one, he could ask her to explain herself a little bit more about her current mindset, because I think that it was like a lighthearted, playful conversation. It really wasn't that deep, but he could have clocked it, put it in his back pocket, and use that to help him make his decisions. I don't know why he had to storm off and be in a separate room as though she did something to him. Like, if you don't like the way that she thinks or the way that she operates, then find somebody that you do.
You have two other connections.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about it. I have this theory that the best way to get a guy is to actually just approach him and talk to him and hit on him, because more times than not, the guys is the one that's usually doing the one that's hitting on the female, then the female is hitting on the guy. So we wouldn't know what to do. Like, you probably go get an easy yes from a guy if you just hit on him and just say, hey, I think you're handsome, here's my number, right? I think Cam is feeling himself. The fact that he's basically in another room pouting and basically like, you know, basically come find me. You get what I'm saying? Because I have 3 connections and I feel this type of way, so I'm gonna sit to the side and basically pout and basically be like, I ain't like what you said. And Angie's like, I did not say, she said this in her confessional, I'm a paraphrase, that I did not say that I do that now. I say I've done it, right? But as Blair said, there's other information there that Cam could have took and not basically walked away and pout about it. He could have just been like, okay, she likes tit for tat. Tit for tat don't have to be as extreme as a busted window,
right? But
it could be something as simple as like, oh, you're not really taking accountability or something, right? It would have took more time for basically, I would have used that conversation if I was really feeling Angie, to really dig in on the situation that caused you to bust a window out of somebody's car. You get what I'm saying? Maybe she, even though I believe no one's justified in basically destroying someone's property, maybe some street justice was needed. Who knows, right? But I don't like the fact that Cam is going around, because I feel like he's feeling himself. He have 3 connections, and as a guy, if you're not used to like multiple women being after you, you really will move around as if you are the prize. And guess what? As we go see later on in the episode, I think he has a big head. Yeah. And because he has the big head, it's really delaying him from actually making a real commitment towards one person. I think he's just enjoying the fact that I have 3 connections and I'm just basically just taking it one day at a time.
So Cam asks Sahara for a hug because he's having a hard night and she gives him a hug.
Stop.
That's exactly what you're talking about.
I wasn't expecting it to come this soon. I thought it was a couple scenes after that.
Oh no,
it came literally.
it was literally when he walked back into the room.
Why are you asking Sahara? Why are you asking for a hug? And then he's over there talking about, do you still like me?
Yeah, I'm just
like that's weird to me.
Like, what are we actually doing? Like, who? Like, actually get to know them and figure out who you want. Like you said, it seems like he just wants his ego stroked at this point. So Tay gets everyone to start playing Truth or Dare Jenga in order to improve the energy of the house. Tay gives Cisco a little lap dance, and this is where Tay says her main goal is to spend some alone time with Cisco to see what life would be like out of here. He's been trying to rest all day.
Yeah.
We see him on the couch. We see him laying in the bed, and it seems like he just kind of wants to chill, but she gets him to get up and go to the pool, and they end up sharing a kiss.
Can I, what's the key word for this episode, Blair?
I forgot it that fast.
Wow.
Optics.
Yeah. What is one of the scenes that we saw? We saw Cisco on the couch. Sahara came over, played with him, blowed into his ear, whatever it is. And he just resting. Okay, there's nothing wrong with you needing your rest. Okay, cool, right? And then we see you upstairs in the bedroom again, resting, right? While this is supposed to be a serious trip to where you basically build a stronger connection or confirm your connection and things like that.
Where's the effort?
Where's the effort? Optics, right? What is one thing that Cisco said, or he's been selling or trying to sell? Because I ain't buying it.
He's a hustler.
He's a hustler that basically, like, you know what? When I have someone behind me, or when I have a teammate, you know what? That just make me go harder. That just make me push harder and things like that. So far, right? Even though he knows that Tay have 2 connections. He knows that he's not the only connection. He may know he's the stronger connection.
He said he got in the bedroom, so
right?
that's all he needs.
So he knows that
he can go to bed now.
He knows that he's the stronger connection, but at the same time, this is the time that we supposed to see how you work. And my thing is, I understand that this type of working on a show like this is not actual labor in the sense of a job, but how do I supposed to believe that you are this hard worker, you are someone that basically take initiative when I seen you this whole episode basically laying down?
Yeah.
How do I know that when or if you and Tay get together, that you know what, you moved in or y'all move into a place and things like that, most likely you probably moving into her spot, that you won't be the guy that won't be lounging on the couch or lying in the bed? Optics.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. It just looks bad. Especially
with his living situation that we know about. And the thing is, he could have came off a long shift. It could have been a whole bunch of different things, but knowing what we know and seeing what we seeing is looking a little concerning. It's looking a little concerning.
And here's the thing. It could be editing. You know what? I leave room for that, but at the same time, I ain't see all the other guys over there lounging around and things. And my thing about it is, if they was to lounge around, we wouldn't think the same thing, because we like, okay, we know he got his own car, he got his own spot. But for you, Cisco, because of the optics look bad and because we know what we know about you, it just seems like, hey, if there's anyone who should be trying to convince their connection to choose them, Cisco, you should have been up, moving around, trying to basically convince Tay to take a chance on you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the optics.
But also, she didn't make him work.
That is true. But whole time he said he don't need he said he is his own motivation. So you know, who knows?
Now Rose and Hussein are sharing a room. She's down to cuddle, nothing too crazy.
Okay.
Kiara has an attitude. Jay tries to come into her room asking her if she wants to watch a movie. She tells him no. He didn't think he did anything wrong with the Sahara situation, and Kiara thinks that he's wrong for basically all the touchy-feely stuff that they were doing. He did something that she felt like made her look stupid, and he crossed the boundary that she didn't want him to do. His argument is that it was in public, it was in front of everybody, we were just chilling, but they get to hollering and he ends up leaving the room.
Listen here. She basically was like, you know what your problem is, because he's over there trying to talk to her, and she is giving him her back.
Right.
Your problem is you don't set no boundaries. You don't have no boundaries, and you're making me look stupid. And he's like, that's why I came up here. I came up here to apologize, because he
wasn't really apologizing.
But put it like this,
because he didn't think he did anything wrong.
He didn't think he did anything wrong, but at the same time, that wasn't the time to apologize.
He was defending his stance. He should have apologized,
right? Do you think he should have apologized?
Yes.
I think he shouldn't have agreed to the boundary off top.
Well, the fact that he did, Kiara was upset.
That's true.
She's your strongest connection. You should be getting down to the bottom of why your strongest connection is upset with you.
Well, not even that. For the longest, until this episode, she was your only connection.
Yeah.
Truth be told. Like, so
you need to be working it out, figuring it out, and trying to see it from her perspective is what you actually need to be doing, not trying to tell her that she's tripping. That's how I feel about it.
That's fair.
So.
No, but I think he felt like she was tripping because she basically locked herself up in the room while everybody's like downstairs having fun. He basically like, let's talk about it. She didn't want to talk. She basically like, you disrespected me in front of everybody.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I get a little like, I understand that people get upset and they need to take a minute to cool off. Like, that's fair. And I think for me and my personality, like, I want to hash it out so that way, like, we can be cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just like, if you're storming off, going into separate rooms, like messing up the energy of the house, being passive aggressive, I'm just like, what is that actually solving? Like, I guess you just want to be mad for the moment, and I like, fair, people can be mad for the moment, but if he's coming up to have a conversation, I think it's worth trying to have a conversation if you guys have something strong, you know, at least trying to hear each other out.
Maybe. With me, I'm the opposite. Right?
You are the opposite.
But I'm not passive aggressive though. I'm aggressive, right?
Yeah, but you like your time.
I like my time because I am a big believer of you can apologize for what you said, but I heard what you said. To me, there's nothing that at my adult age that there's nothing that I can say came out my mouth to someone that I regret. You get what I'm saying? Because I tried to really like pick my words. So that's why I tried to basically like, I don't want to talk right now, because even though I may be talking out of emotion, I don't want to have to apologize. And then even if I apologize, that does not make you unhear what you heard. So I'd rather not say anything. You get what I'm saying? I'd rather just let it marinate, you know? Also, in this moment, I think it was a misunderstanding. and my thing is, it's the first misunderstanding that they had. Granted, he didn't set no boundary, but at the same time, I'm just like, I don't think it was the type of misunderstanding to where she had to lock herself in the room and he's talking to her back the whole time.
I think a simple conversation would have cleared it up. So they get to the second day of the getaway. Diana and Khalil are chatting, and he's trying to figure out if they have something romantic or just friendship, and she's trying to figure out the same.
Okay.
He asks, what would she want a man to do if they were living together? And she says pretty much take the trash out, paint up, different parts of the house if need be, but other than that, she's got it. Khalil does see that she has some type of over independence going on. Diana thinks that he's very observant and chill, and she likes people who are about action. She asks him what would get him riled up, and he says blatant disrespect. Well, Diana will shut down in some situations, but she talks about how she always wants to be true to herself, and if she's not comfortable with something, she's not going to do it.
Dude, like, you think she's too independent?
Very much so.
I think so, but at the same time,
can I explain?
Help me, because I'm kind of in the middle. Go ahead.
I think that you, as an adult, you need to be independent and be able to do everything for yourself.
Fair.
So I'm not even really concerned about how independent she is. I'm more so concerned about the fact that she doesn't leave room for a partner in her life.
Okay.
The only thing you can do for me is throw out the trash and paint. What?
But hold on. Stop there, though. Stop there for a second. But as a guy, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard if I am single and I've been doing everything to actually assign like a job to you. It's like it's kind of like you don't want to assign a job because it's like I want to like you, and basically to me, if someone wants to ask me that question, I probably wouldn't know how to answer that either. I probably will fit in where you get in. Like you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't have a list of things like do this, do that, do this, do this.
Well, I think that if you are wanting to be in partnership, and you see that you're carrying the heavy load of your life and everything that you do, and he does ask her specifically about when we live together, what is it that you would want a man to do? I think that if you know that you do a lot and you're willing to allow space for somebody to come in, I think that it should be top of mind, especially on a dating show, what you would want somebody to come in and do for you. Like, I don't think that's an unreasonable or a hard question to ask. Like, take a beat and answer it with more than two things. That's just how I look at it,
That's fair. For me, I kind of see it as as a double-edged sword, especially for a lot of independent women. Because she could have answered this question truthfully. And when I say truthfully, I mean, like, let's say she would have gave him a list of things, right? That guy could have been like, oh, she needs too much. She does too much.
But it's about how you say it.
But I understand that. But at the same time, I don't want guys to be deterred by a woman's independence. Like, you have to understand, she's single. She's been single. So she don't know a life at the current moment to where she needs a guy to do anything. So to ask him, or basically to be asked rather, what would you want a guy to do for you if they were to live together? It does kind of come off as take out the trash, paint. Like it's like she don't know. You get what I'm saying?
Maybe not.
So it's like I don't want him to be deterred by her answer, because for the longest she's been doing everything and making things work on her own. That's why I would have accepted just like get in where you fit in. Like basically wherever there's lack, help me. You know what I mean? Besides like, oh, I need a guy to take out the trash. I need a guy to do this. I need a guy to do that. Some guys get turned off by that. So that's why I'm like, I'm not really mad at her answer, even though she is independent and that could be a turnoff. I hope that he don't look at it as, oh, you're too independent. You don't really need me.
I think what I'm doing is pretty much like compiling everything I've seen up to this point.
That is true.
And I think that At surface level, sure, the answer's fine. Like, I'm not going to like pick apart her answer. Like, it is what it is. But everything combined together, it just feels like she doesn't want a partner.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just how it all comes together.
No, and guess what? You are fair to do that, because I said it last episode. Yeah. There's too many times that she's telling guys what she don't want, but we haven't really heard a good list of things that she does want.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that she just don't want a guy to take out the trash and paint. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So it would been smart to basically, if you go come on a dating show, to come with a list of things, at least 2 of things that you genuinely want.
But see, I know y'all, we're staying on this topic a long time, but I don't think it's hard to know what you want out of a partnership. Maybe because, like, for me, like, you know, before we got together, you know, working, doing everything by myself and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I absolutely would be like, shoot, if you want to come retire me, if you want to, you know what I'm saying?
And guess what? A guy would be turned off by that answer. Come retire me? That's not a good answer, Blair.
Not for a first date. But I mean, I think that there's something to letting somebody know that.
That's a bad question. I ain't gonna hold you.
Okay. Well, I don't think it is.
The more I'm starting to think about it, it's a bad question. I am a single person that does everything in the house. Like, and if we live together, what do you want me to do? If I was to be honest, well, help me with the light bill, help me with the mortgage, help me with the car note. Some guys would be like, well, damn, like, no, I'm not gonna help you with that. That's your stuff. So that's why I'm like, just a guy sees where there's lack and he just gets in where he fits in. But the fact
that he's asking is because she's not saying.
Now that I agree with you. I think
I'm like, that's also reading the room.
Now that I agree with you. I think the question is bad, but I think the fact that he had to ask the question is really the real issue.
Yeah.
I think the fact that he's asking the question is because she's not giving that she needs anything from a guy.
Right.
But the question is bad, in my opinion.
Okay. So we're gonna move on now. Mm-hmm. So Khalil, where do we get? Yeah. So this is the other part that rubbed me the wrong way.
Okay.
Is when she asked him what would get him riled up after she said that he's such a chill and observant person. Mm-hmm. I personally am a pretty chill person.
Okay.
And not to make this about me because we talking about the show, but I do believe that when people try to ask you questions about what makes you mad, like what gets you going and all that type of stuff, it's just like, why can't you let this person be how they are? Like, why is the conversation turning into what is going to get them riled up? What's going to make you see a different side of them or whatever the case may be? You see how he is. Let that be what it is. Why are we trying to figure out what makes him mad? I'm just like get to know him, see how situations go, and get to know the person as you go. And the thing is, I get it. This is, maybe I'm just not a fan of Diana. Maybe that's just what it is. And I get that you guys have to ask each other questions throughout the process because you don't have the luxury of time to see people in different situations. But when you know somebody is like a relaxed or reserved type of person, like, what is that actually telling you?
Yeah.
You know?
This is a bad question too.
Yeah.
Because maybe she's asking him because, like I said, I am a big believer that everybody lies, right? And what I mean by that is that everybody lies not with the intent to lie, but everybody's not honest, right? So when I hear these 2 questions, even though the intent is for both of them not to like lie, but I feel like these are not honest questions. So let me tell you what I hear, right?
Let's hear it.
When I hear basically the question that he asked her earlier, he's basically asking, where can a guy fit in your life? Because you feel like, cause it seems like you don't need a guy. Right. That's what he's asking, but it came out as a bad question. Right. To her question, it came off as, you come off as you don't care about anything. What do you care about? Like, basically, like, you like too laid back. You are too chill. What makes you mad? Like it comes off as if he's being labeled as emotionless.
Yeah.
So that's why so even though they are both not intending to lie, these are basically the characteristics of the question, right? Because it's a terrible question. What do you mean? What makes me mad? What makes you mad? Right? Like, it's the same thing. As a guy, of course, disrespect is universally like bad across any language, across anything.
And that's my thing. It's just like that particular question, I feel like, gives her no information to find out like if he can be a true romantic partner.
No.
So I just it's just like about picking buttons and stuff like that.
It's 2 ships passing each other.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to see where does he fit in, or where do a man fit into her life?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, you're a little too chill for me. You may be a little too quiet for me. You may be too a little emotionless for me. What riles you up? You know what I'm saying? Now, if I was asked that question, I would never tell anybody my button.
Exactly. I feel like it's giving away your button.
That's stupid. You know what I mean? So, but that's what I'm saying. It's these stupid questions, but there's real intent behind these questions, but we just not getting to it.
Yeah. So Jay talks to Khalil about the issue with Kiara, and Khalil actually gives him good perspective on where Kiara is coming from.
Yeah.
And he says, if y'all are just homies, then why are y'all touching like that?
I don't touch my homies.
Jay gets where, she's coming from, but he says his intent was just to socialize with girls that are his friends. Like they just like be kicking it and stuff like that. So I guess that's what Jay does with his friends. And Khalil says, well, let her know that the situation she thought it was is not what she thinks it is, essentially.
Well, it doesn't matter. He crossed the boundary.
Yeah. And that's my thing when it comes to like intention. Your intentions can be good, but your actions are all that is seen. And so would be great for you to think before you act and try to make sure that they align with your intention, especially something as small as intertwining legs with Sahara. Just don't do it. Like why even do that?
That's not small, but at the same time, I don't understand why y'all legs gotta be intertwined.
I mean, it's small in the sense that it's an easy action not to do.
Oh yeah, you're right.
like sit next to her and hold a conversation with her. Stand in the kitchen and hold a conversation with her.
It probably would have been better if you just would have put your arm around her, to be honest. Like if you would have put your arm around her as if that was your homie, I don't think she would have been as mad as y'all legs being locked in and things like that. Massaging
each other and stuff. Like I feel like even if she would have put her leg on his leg, and I know Tommy says later on, well, you can't control if she put her leg on your leg. You absolutely can move.
No,
you absolutely can.
You can't do
move
that.
Out the way.
Don't push nobody leg off you in this speed dating show.
I think it's fine.
Okay.
Tommy comes in for the curveball. It's the men's choice to decide which lady goes home, and pretty much the guys are talking about the ladies that they're having trouble connecting with, and pretty much Deanna's a slow burn, and the guys don't really know about Angie's spiciness. Yeah, and we don't get to see who goes home yet.
Listen here, I think Angie did herself a disservice. She was given a task of what to do, to what to talk about. She decided to partake in this type of conversation of spiciness and toxic.
Some shoot the ish conversation.
Some conversations I had when I was 19. You get what I'm saying? And Deanna, you may just be a slow burn. You may honestly not be into any of these guys. And that's fair. That's fair. Anything else?
That's all I got.
I need you to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. We see you next time.
Bye.